I do feel like Connor Hughes is sort of the mouthpiece for what the Jets want out there in the media sphere. So when he says this sort of stuff, I think there's a little bit of weight behind it. The top 3 names, GM candidates, the bottom 3 names, head coach candidates. John Dorsey, Lions personnel executive, I believe was with the Browns previously. And was he with the Chiefs as well prior to that? I think he was. Ryan Grigson, Vikings VP of player personnel. Nolan Teasley would be the young gun of that group. He's the assistant GM with the Seattle Seahawks. And then for the head coaches, Brian Flores, Vikings defensive coordinator, former Miami Dolphins head coach. Pete Carroll, former Seahawks head coach. Rex Ryan, obviously, former Jets and Bills head coach. The part that he sort of emphasized with that was that the Jets were going to look for someone who's done it before. Someone's done been a head coach in this league before. They don't want someone quite as green as a Todd Bowles or as a Robert Saleh. So that's sort of where you could kind of envision things going. Like if you bring in Ryan Grigson, pair him with Pete Carroll, some sort of, Teasley and Pete Carroll. I think that's, an interesting combo. Clearly there's a good respect with Carroll around the league. He's been here before. Brian Flores, link him up with Ryan Grigson. You get that Vikings connection, some synergy between the two of them potentially. And then, of the list, I do like John Dorsey the most of the GM candidates right there. And of these 3 head coaches, I would take Brian Flores. So even if you had to split up Grigson and Flores, I would take a John Dorsey, Brian Flores combo all day. Matt, what are your thoughts on this particular list?
Yeah, I think I agree with you with your combination. The GM that I really don't like from this group is Grigson because of his job with the Colts. You're going to point to his records, and he had a winning record 3 times. He was 11-5 3 times and made the playoffs 3 years in a row, and then went 8-8 in back-to-back years before getting let go. And you'd be like, oh, well, his teams were very successful, and it's easy to see that. But his drafting, I think, was really poor, and I think him never being able to figure out the offensive line is what ended up having Andrew Luck retire early. So, there was a lot of team-building issues with that Colts era group, but I think Andrew Luck kind of elevated them above some of their roster issues. So that's one that I wouldn't want to take a swing on. Flores would probably be my favorite option from that group. I like Pete Carroll in more of an advisory role than an actual head coaching job. And I'm just not sure if he would still be wanting to do that. I think he wanted to get into the front office in Seattle, and that's why he's an advisor there. And for me with Rex, fun, but I think some forget how 2012 through 2016 for Rex Ryan went, and I get it. He was the guy who was here the last time the Jets were successful, but I don't think they need to go down that road.
Frankie from Flatbush points out as well, Rex made the playoffs 2 of 8 seasons, and the 2 years that he made the playoffs were under players that Mangini brought in. Obviously, he got the juice, and he brought some extra guys in here. Bart Scott, a whole bunch of defensive guys that he brought over from Baltimore. So it wasn't solely that, but 2 years of playoffs out of 8 years. Oddly enough, it's something we would all probably take at this point, but not the best record overall.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.